So the T20 World Cup is up and running, and I have the legendary, the current women's head coach of the West Indies cricket team, Sir Courtney Walsh. Sir, first of all, tell me one thing. This is a question that many people ask. What is happening to West Indies cricket? I mean, the women's cricket part, because 2016 world champion, and from there it has been a downslide. So where do you think things are going wrong?
We have to start to regroup. We have been regrouping for quite some time. We haven't really generated a lot of new players out. And we have lost some key players as well. So a combination of everything. And we haven't been performing as well as we expected or we can. So once you don't do that consistently, you're going to struggle. And we've been playing in patches but not executing not as consistent as we can and should.
And sir, we all know Haley Matthews. She's a superstar of the game, and there are a couple of youngsters who are very impressive, very promising. Karishma Ramarak is there, Effie Fletcher is there. So how do you look at that bunch of players who are up and coming and promising and can serve West Indies cricket for the next decade or so?
We're a good bunch of players, but we have some youngsters coming through as well. So, I mean, it's still a lot of positive in West Indies cricket. Our pool is not as big as other nations. Yeah. So, whenever we have injuries and them kind of things, it's going to sort of take a while. But I think with the pool we have and the work we've been putting in, hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll see some consistency and we'll see those players you mentioned performing.
Mhm. And sir, I've spoken to many women's cricketers right here in South Africa, and they have said that this is a golden phase for women's cricket with the Women's Premier League, the WIPL also coming in. So, do you think it can have the same impact as the men's IPL had for the men's cricket in T20 version?
I think it's one of the best things for women cricket to get that excitement and get players going. And I'm hoping that the spin-off comes to the West Indies as well, where we have more ladies playing and then our pool can get bigger. But I think it's great for women's cricket that this initiative is happening. And I'm hoping that it has all the success it deserves and the growth of women's cricket will get better from it.
And sir, Haley Matthews is one of the players who got picked for WPL. Have you spoken to her after the auction and how she's feeling about the entire tournament? Her being the only player from West Indies to represent the WPL.
Well, she's happy to be selected. We are very, very happy for her. We're hoping that we'll have a couple more picks, but that is how the cookie crumbles, as it so to speak. But I think she's much deserved of it. I was hoping that she would have probably gone for a higher price, to be quite honest, because she's that quality type of player. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But she's happy to be involved with it. We're happy for her, and we're wishing her all the success.
And sir, where do you see women's cricket grow in the next 5 or 10 years? Because in the last 5 years since the 2017 World Cup, I remember it was the average audience was only 500. So now it has gone to 1,000. So where do you see the women's cricket going?
I think with the initiative of what's happening now, it's going to grow, it's going to get bigger and better. And with this IPL, women's IPL coming out, it's only going to help. And there's a lot of other franchise cricket in the world. We have our own CPL that the women have just played into the first time last year. And we're hoping that that will help the growth as well. We can get more teams. They only had 3 teams last year. If we could get more teams in it, then the more exposure the ladies get, the better it's going to be. I think that's what we need, especially in the Caribbean, to have our girls playing a lot more cricket. And once that happens, the improvement will come.
And sir, my last question. Of course, the Women's T20 World Cup is the pinnacle, but there's also very important series going back in India. That is India versus Australia. So, how do you see this Indian Test team and the pace attack they have created in forms of Siraj, Shami, Bumrah is of course he's injured, but the pace attack altogether.
I think the Indian pace attack has been very good. You have seen that inside India, outside of India, they've played very, very good cricket. The Indian team on the whole has shown that they're a very good team, very competitive team in all formats of the game. More so in Test cricket as well, where they're very competitive. And it's good to see. I think it's only good for cricket in general.
Thank you so much, Sir Courtney Walsh, for your time and speaking to Revsportz. Thank you so much.
No problem.